All right, see people popping in. So we made it.
We did it. We're here.
We're here. For those of you who don't know, we've been posting about this a little bit because we had scheduled this for 11 o'clock today, and we are in the middle of a blizzard, and we actually had to drive up into Lake Tahoe in the middle of a blizzard with almost zero visibility, kind of gnarly, crazy. But we promised you we would be here, and we
We did it.
here. I am, for those of you who don't know, Sean Christian. I am with my lovely fiance, Ariane Zucker, or Ari. I choke on the Ariane sometimes.
He doesn't totally know how to say my full name, which is okay.
That's
okay.
not true. Well, I do choke a little bit, but I want to thank each and every one of you for showing up, for being here. I'm deeply grateful for being here because we're literally, there's a cliffside and you really can't see where you're going. Kind of nutty, but it is certainly relevant to this topic about, in our series of create your life. This one is create the life you imagine, your goals, your dreams, your vision, and you will run into obstacles. We'll definitely get into that. And how are you going to navigate those when you set your dream, your goal, your vision? But let's start with ultimately just setting it, right? If we're going to be the creators of our life, you'll hear me repeat that all the time. And I kind of juxtapose that with, you're either the creator of your life or you're the canvas, or you're the creator of your life, or maybe you feel like the victim of your life, because I've been there and it took the creative mindset to get me out. And I had been there for way too long, years. And that's why I'm excited to share some of these tools, the experiences that we've encountered in trying to navigate that landscape. So that is the one thing I want to start with, because the power of our thoughts, the power of our imagination is something I've been playing with for the last 30 years, certainly in the entertainment industry. And then as a kid, of course, but then, like many of us, we get older and we're like, wow, are you creative? Because I can ask a room, when I'm talking to either the kids and adults or both, I'll say, okay, who here believes, and I'm asking all of you out there too, that they are creative? Raise your hand. I don't know if I could see you or not, but do you believe you are creative? And most kids will go, oh my gosh, yes, that's what I do. I play make believe. I do this, I color, or whatever. But as we get older, right, and bills and responsibilities start to pile on, we often go, no, I got too much responsibility to be creative. I'm actually beholden to these bills, to these responsibilities. And we all have them. We get them as we get older. That's just life, right? But how are we going to continue to hang on to our belief that we can create? And we have the ability to do it. I'm telling you right now, each and every one of you, if you don't believe you're indeed creative, I'd suggest this right now. You created this very moment by showing up. You did. I didn't. Ari didn't. Right? The person who recommended, oh, maybe you should go listen to Sean or whatever, right? But you chose to create this moment for personal investment, personal growth, and certainly as this topic, as we talk about today, creating your goals, visions, and your dreams. And I always start off with this, is we have to have clarity about the dream, the specific goal, that specific vision, maybe that thing you've been thinking about your whole life. You're like, oh my God, I got to get this business started, or I want to start this yoga practice, or whatever it is for you. You have to start with, I would encourage you, you don't have to do anything that I say, of course, but I would encourage you to go get very clear on that and say, how do we do that? And you have to paint that visual image. Now, I use my imagination. That's something I've been using my whole life. So I've practiced either, and certainly closing my eyes, and if I have to create a character or a movie or a scene or actually write a show, I have to go play make believe, and I have to see it in my mind. That is one way that ignites me personally. Now, we all have different triggers that help us get clarity to define what that one, just by the way, you may have a million of them. I got, a million goals and dreams. But for this particular exercise and this particular conversation, I don't have tigers in my house. Those are little Shih Tzus. Yeah. Everyone's like, we made it home.
They're a little restless.
But getting very clear on that. So for example, imagination is one way I do it, but visual, you heard vision boards. That's another great way to really start to spark the vision, the goal, the dream that you have. So, if you've heard about doing vision boards, if you're going to create a vision board or journal about it, that is another thing. Write it down. I'm a big proponent of getting it out of your soul, right? Because we have plenty of ideas, but if we don't have it looking right back at us, the chances and the likelihood of it getting really accomplished get foggy and unclear. So write it down, or literally go. I know it sounds like, you're scrapbooking, but this is the life. If it's important to you, you'll do it.
I know there's a lot of people too that feel like, oh, I'm not creative. I can barely draw a stick figure. You know what I mean?
That's
So,
right.
but we have to get creative in our life. So when you really think about, you have to get creative with dinner. You have to get creative with going to the grocery store. You have to get, creative on, finding entertaining things to do in your life. And those are all creative thoughts. So I want to be really clear about how you describe, or we describe too, for you is creating the life you imagine, because a lot of people will be like, oh,
And they tap
I don't
out.
have that creative element, but we all do, because in some way, shape, or form, we have to be creative in our life. Or coming up with an invitation or an email. You have to be creative. So I just wanted to kind of dive that in, because some people will check out, when you hear that I'm not creative, but we all are creative.
It's a great point, because this is not just for artists, poets, musicians, painters, right? This is for accountants, economics. And this is the thing I think people are even missing in the world and yearning for, is a creative solution. But if we don't believe we have that capacity, and we're like, oh, I'm just logic brain, and you've already cut half your brain off, right? Now we still need to apply logics, because we have to, once we create it, we got to get strategic and actually implement it and make it happen. But remind yourself, I am creative. I am the creator of this day. I don't even put a sticky note on your mirror or on your phone, something that reminds you that you indeed are creative, because you're again, as I just said, you created this moment, and you're going to create your afternoon. And when you go in that intentional mindset, right, now you're not just a ping pong ball or being hit around, or a pinball just being hit by flippers and throughout your day. You're going to live intentionally with a clear vision. You have your big goal, and I would encourage you to break these down. Okay, great. What is my yearly goal? Excellent. What will be my monthly goal? What will be my weekly goal? And what will be my daily goal? Because on this road, we're going to run into obstacles, and we're going to like, oh my God, I'm never going to hit this, right? This super goal, this big goal, dream. You go, no, wait, I've set myself up to succeed each month, each week, each day. So even when you visualize and you wake up, right, you go, I'm waking up with intention, because I'm going to be the creator of this day. And you've set the tone for your day. And I'll tell you, and many of you, I'm sure, are all of you go, yeah, I do that. And then guess what happens? My day gets knocked off. The kids, someone got sick, my dog got sick, or something happened that is not going to, is actually going to be an obstacle or a hindrance to me creating and actually achieving this daily goal. But it isn't about the achievement. It's about the process of going through it. That's where we get tied up as we get older. We're like, oh, trust me. And when I say this, I'm literally looking in the mirror going, oh, God, didn't get this done. I didn't get that done. But I'm like, wait, that's just goal mindset. I'm talking about growth mindset and creative mindset. So when you're constantly living in that state of creativity, you go, didn't go my way. Great. I need to create another solution. I need to create another way to experience my intention. So getting very clear on that, because when things go rough and you're like, oh, it's not working out the way I wanted to, you get to go to what you either journaled about, or you get to go to your vision board and you go, that's where I'm going. What is one small thing I can do in this moment in this moment, like, on our way up here, I wasn't sure we were going to make it. Right. But I was like, okay, we have to get up 2 more hours early if we're going to get on the road. Thankfully the road was plowed, but we're coming up with a solution. So my first step is create that vision board, get very clear. And you'd be like, well, I'm not exactly sure what I want. What do you want to feel? I know so many people like, yeah, that's great. I don't know what my passion is. I don't know what my purpose is.
I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do. I don't even know where to start. Okay. And I get that. I'm 100%. I'm like, I'm lost. I mean, this is what ends up happening. We go like, I thought my life was going in this direction, and we get lost and we get stuck. Right. I'm saying you have now a tool to get yourself unstuck, to go, wait, I'm not the victim of this moment. I'm not stuck. I'm in the middle of creating something. And now you've opened up your mind to possibilities rather than closing your mind off to going, well, I'm stuck. If that makes sense. At the very least, you go, okay, let me just stop in this moment, right here, right now. And I do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't know if anybody's heard that, but if your thoughts are racing about, oh my God, I need to do this, I need to do that, or the pain of the past, or the fear of the future is playing in your mind, get clear on what that thought is, right? I talk about that a lot, like getting clarity, like what is this obstacle that keeps standing in my way? If you don't identify it, there's no way to create a solution. You can't, right? You can't create a solution to something that you're not aware of. But if you keep having this painful thought of the past, which happens all of the time, but you go, wait, I need to create another way forward. What can I do? What can I do here? And I personally talk about the 5 A's of transformation. I don't know if you've heard this, but the first thing we do, because this is how we get unstuck. We got our vision. Now we feel like we're stuck. Things aren't going our way. The first step we have to do is acknowledge it. Acknowledge it, right? I had a point in my life, felt riddled with shame and guilt, and 2 different things, by the way. Guilt is behavioral. Shame is an identity. I had used the guilt and turned it into shame, meaning like, for example, oh gosh, I made a mistake, right? That's guilt. I am a mistake. That's shame. And if you recognize that's where you're at, now you can go, okay, I acknowledge that. I am self-shaming. No wonder I can't create my dream, my goal, my vision. I'm shaming myself. So just acknowledge it with a level of grace, compassion, and understanding, right? Because if I said to you or Ari or anybody, say, I have a problem. Like, oh my God, I'm so stuck. I can't believe I did this stupid thing. I've actually done this with Ari, where I'm like, oh my God, I'm so stupid. I can't believe this is the 3rd year I'm in the same spot. How is, right? Like, why does this keep happening? And I'm yelling at myself, just that tone, right? Who said that? Why is this happening to me? And I've learned to talk to myself, acknowledge, go, wow, I am being actually cruel to myself. Because if I asked any of you out there, if I told you I'm stuck and have a problem, I can't imagine, I don't think anybody out there would go, you are so stupid, you are so this, you're so that. You'd find a way to be compassionate and trying to help me through. Or anybody even in your circle. I'm sure you do this already. But do you do that for yourself? Are you as compassionate and kind and gracious with yourself as you are with others? Intuitively. And this is the first step in creating that breakthrough to go, acknowledge it. All right, I acknowledge it. I'm aware. Well, be aware would be the first one. Of course, you have to be aware of it. And then you acknowledge it and go, oh, okay, this, and then you articulate it. This is what I'm dealing with. So you're aware of it. You acknowledge it. Okay, I'm articulating what exactly is the thought, the feeling, the sensation that makes me feel stuck or feel like I can't create momentum or something to get me moving forward for yourself. Now, you can ask friends and family or whatever, but you ultimately have to distill it down in your language, right? Do you ever try to tell someone like, this is like your best friend? Oh my God, you got to stop dating this guy or this girl, whatever. and you're like, they're not listening, right? That happens all the time, even with ourselves, right? So we have to go, wait, I need to listen to myself with grace, with empathy and compassion. And let me articulate, not like, why is this happening to me? Change the tone and go, why is this happening to me? Just that energy in itself of self-love and self-care. Just if you become aware of how you talk to yourself, that is one part of the healing process, right? So you become aware, you acknowledge it, you articulate it with specificity so you can identify, oh, this is trauma from my past. Oh, this is the fear of my future and the failure. Why do I keep fearing failure? So I don't take risks. Why is that? Okay. You've articulated it. Now you have to amend it. What is it that I could create differently? And you have an infinite amount of possibilities when you allow yourself the time and space to open your mind, right? If we get caught in worry, fear, anxiety, doubt, lack of self-worth, limiting beliefs, there's no room to create anything different.
And you have to, once you start going through that process and it's really kind of shifting, the way you were raised to think, the way maybe professors got you, thinking, or if you're still in school, you're trained kind of one way to think, and we forget about how to think. Really, we get to have the dynamic to think for ourselves, right? To really think for us, for you, and to have that open mind where, I ended up, staying on a soap opera instead of continuing on to be a veterinarian like I really wanted to do. And part of me felt like, gosh, I feel really stupid for not going to school, right? That's that attack.
Right,
You
right.
attack yourself. I really wanted to get that education. I feel like I should have finished college. I didn't graduate college, and it took me a really long time to go, wait, it's okay. It wasn't meant for me at the moment, at the time, and right now. But what I decided to do, instead of complain about not finishing school or feeling like I'm not competitive with my girlfriends in that way where they've all graduated or they've done something successful, and I'm feeling shame or, just I'm feeling terrible about myself that I haven't completed something, even though I've done this great thing on this television show. I'm still like, wow, I didn't get my education. That's just, I'm a zero, right? But I finally opened up my mind to educate myself. I don't need a degree to educate myself. And that is keeping your mind open for that. And once you assess where you are, meeting yourself where you are right now in your life, and assessing what your baggage is, if you will, right?
Yeah, your limiting beliefs, lack of self-worth, things like that. Yeah.
Then you can say, wait, I'm going to shift what I do during that. I'm going to read an article on something that's going to educate me every day, or I'm going to follow somebody that, that will enlighten me in a way, or listening to this, for instance, and just changing your groove will change your destination.
Yes, that's so well said, because we end up getting stuck in these limiting beliefs that they are handed down from us, right? We're like, oh my God, you're so stupid because you didn't go to college. You're so this because you didn't get your degree, or so whatever that limiting belief is for you. Identify that. Go, wow, how am I selling myself short on this? Right? You're just really asking yourself beautiful questions. And I talk about the why ladder all the time. Why? Well, why don't I believe I'm capable of doing this? Well, I didn't get an education. Well, why do I believe I need an education to do this specific thing? Well, because you have to have a degree. Okay, what could I do differently? Now, see how you're getting to the root of your own blockage with a level of grace and empathy instead of just beating yourself up, like, Ari was saying. So you get that amendment. You are now creating. So you go, look, how do I get, because you guys all have beautiful things going on in your life, right? So you're here, you're talking with this community, and you're in this personal development and self-growth community for a reason, because you are going to create something extraordinary. Fact. I don't even know you, but I believe that. And it isn't this rah, rah, I'm your biggest cheerleader, or I'm a positive thinker. If you're doing these practices, you will be the creator of your life. And you'll be able to course correct where you need to course correct. You'll be able to charge through. I talk about these on my online courses on unleashing your unique potential. But that very thing, identifying where you need to course correct and when you need to push through, right? And you've got to believe you are worthy of this goal. A lot of times, and this is one of these things that I had been stuck with, because I was like, well, okay, what's still in my way? What's still in my way? Now, I did get obsessed with looking on the obstacle. I'm like, what's in my way? How come I'm not getting there? And I'm like, because am I being impatient? And I was. So I had to change that and shift that amendment. No, I'm actually in a process of growth. I'm not being impatient. I'm growing. I'm not stuck. I'm actually growing. And I believe that, because if you do this with consistency, that's what it takes, right? A belief is really a thought that we keep having that we have over and over and over, and it's proven to be what we believe to be true. That's how a belief is built. So you're now believing you are the author, the designer, the creator, the artist, the landscaper, or whatever you want to call it for your life. That is powerful. You're now empowering yourself to create change right on there, just by, like I said, becoming aware, acknowledging, articulating, amending. And now what? All right, Sean, that's great. I got an idea. I think I know where I want to go. Now what do? You have to execute action. That's the 5th A. Nothing.
I was so excited. I'm like,
Oh, I should have let you talk.
No. I would just it's great, because when you start to get, when you start to understand those pieces and they start to align, and then
Right.
putting into action, whatever that is, starting your own clothing line, or,
Mhm.
it's like, what are those steps? It starts to get exciting, and each step might take, that little,
Mhm.
you might have a little chaos in there, but that's what teaches you. And that's what makes you grow even bigger
Mhm.
and better, because you go, oh, not gonna drive on that road at night, because that's gonna lead to a dead end.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the one during the daytime, because I know that has a bright
Yeah.
ending for me, right? So it's just it's just making those choices and being patient, like you said.
Totally being patient.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, you're going to get out of your comfort zone. I want you to, and I want to encourage you to get out of your comfort zone, however small or big, it doesn't matter, but fail. I'm going to encourage you, please, please fail. Failure actually is the greatest teacher that we have. But if we're not taking those risks that get us uncomfortable, that push us out of our comfort zone, I mean, I do talk about this in one of the modules in experimenting, exploring outside of your comfort zone. Now, we're not going to get into that today in particular, but as you go through this and you're now creating this dream, this very specific dream that you get to create, and you're going to hear your mind, and you're going to be like, well, yeah, you know what, Sean, okay, I want to make $1 million next year. I want my business to be $1 million or make $1 million. Like, okay, why just $1 million? Why? Well, because, hear that? Well, because I don't know. That is the limiting belief. Now, I'm not saying, you may go, look, that's fine for me. That works for me. I'm not trying to justify that. Right. But just as you go through this big goal, this big dream, challenge yourself. And as you do it, I'm telling you now, I do it every morning. I have this visual meditation where I envision creating the dream, actually having it. That is the biggest, for those of you who are out there who are manifestors, they'll tell you in and out, you have to already believe that it's there, right? Or then now you're painting that pathway. That's what you're really creating. The dreams happened. What you're creating is the pathway there. You're manifesting the pathway there. And that, as I said, in that 5th A is we all are executing specific action. And those actions will fail, and they should. And you go, what didn't work? What didn't go right here? That doesn't mean you have to, scrap the whole project, but because you're consistently in the habit of getting out of your comfort zone, you're like, oh, wait, I don't have to quit. I don't have to give up. This is just helping me see something else. with more clarity. That is helping you push and create the vision, the dream, the goal as you get through those obstacles. So that is one of those biggest things. I'm glad I kind of deep dove into the obstacle part of it, because I think it's so crucial. But I think the two greatest takeaways here, and I'll let Ari, share her thoughts too, because I've been
You're great. Amazing. Yeah.
But it is get very specific about your goal, your dream, and how, and when you visualize that, right? You're like, okay, great. I want this much in the bank. I want this job. I want this business to run, or I want this franchise to go. I want this many kids. I want this kind of husband, this boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, right? And visualize it. Great. Don't gloss over that real quickly. Okay, why do I want that? Why do I really want it? Do I like it? Would I prefer it? Or do I need it? Big difference. Do I like this? Because there's things in my life I like. Their goals are cool, but there's things I love, and they get pushed to the top of your priority ladder. And your world, as you get rid of now, one by one thought, one feeling, one sensation. And next week I'll go into the theater of the mind, because I got off on the obstacles here. But you'll see the congruence and how this all maps together in you creating. Even if you're an accountant, you still have to create. You have to innovate. You have to imagine. Companies want you to do this. You have a gift. You have an amazing gift to share with the world. It's already in there. Believe you're going to create it, because you are the author, the creator, the designer, you name it, of your life, the artist. I mean that. And I've not run into one person. I'm 150,000 years old. I feel like, no, I don't feel like that. But I have not run into one person who doesn't have a unique gift that brings them joy, and that joy brings purpose into the world. And that's how this whole community, and if this community keeps growing like it's growing, and I'm so grateful to have you all here, because you take this experience, this message, this energy into your sphere, and now you're inspiring other people in the things that you do. And that just rocks my world. I mean, it really does. And I can't wait. I do envision in the future, seeing people on the road and sharing these thoughts and these experiences, and that you've been able to manifest and create in your life. And I will leave you this. If anybody has any questions, as Ari said, we have a coaching business, we have online courses, but we also do free discovery calls. And if you're curious about something, or you really want to go, Sean, you said this, I have a thought, or I have a question, or if you need even more deeper guidance, we're 100% here at alohalifecoaching.com. But I want to just say thank you for being here. And each week I appreciate it. It's beautiful to see this community growing. Vinay, again, you've got an incredible community here. Let's all work together to keep this growing, because you all have gifts to share with the world that I know and believe are going to make this world a way better place. And it's a pretty amazing place as it is.
Amazing. Sometimes when people just get on a roll, you're on such a roll today. I'm like, I really don't want to interrupt. I want to have a conversation, but it's enlightening, and it's and that's that too. When you're working with people, or let's say as you're building a business, or someone's got a really great idea, sometimes it's just so great to go, I'm just going to listen today. I'm going to listen today, because clearly I'm supposed to observe, and I'm supposed to pick up something, and I'm supposed to see a door open. Some things happen for us for a reason. And, sometimes if, I don't know, you could have a week where you have all these appointments, and then they just get blown out of the thing, because you just, something's just not working out for the week. And I always, so as you're building your life, right, creating this life that you imagine, take those as I was supposed to be doing something else, right? We get so upset when, I didn't make this meeting because this happened, or some guy was, driving slow on the freeway and it made me late. And it's like, But those things are happening for you so that you can adjust in your life and you can become the person you are, the right person that you were meant to be, that you are driving towards. So anyway,
Yeah,
I
no.
think that's you hit such a beautiful points today, and I was listening.
Well, I think that's the biggest note of all. Because I do have a lot of energy. I'm a go, 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 do, give kind of thing, or human being. But you nailed it. Listen. If you're still confused or lost, I think the greatest thing is to put that energy, creative intention into the world, and then just listen. Just listen to what you get back. It's a beautiful process. So again, thank you, each and every one of you, for being here. We will probably be back on Monday. A snowstorm kind of bumped us a day.
Yep.
So same time, 11 o'clock. And we look forward to seeing each and every one of you. So again,
Yes.
deeply, deeply grateful to have each and every one of you here.
Thank you.
Thank you.